Welcome back to our weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi, everybody. I'm Snyder, voice of the Tiffin University Dragons. To my right, head football coach Brett Ekkens. And last week, coach, was a little bit hectic for me. We weren't able to get together and discuss the previous week's game and preview the home opener, but we're here to talk about that big Dragon win on that home opener. So welcome back in.
Yeah, I'm glad we could get together this week and glad we got all that stuff figured out.
How did it feel on Saturday to wake up in your own bed on a game day? You haven't done that in quite a while.
It's been a while. It felt great. Our players were really excited to be at home. Our coaching staff was excited to be at home. It felt great to be back at Frost Cal now.
Had a nice big home crowd on the home side there for that afternoon start as well on Saturday.
Yeah, we had our fans do an incredible job of supporting us, and it was awesome to see that home side filled up.
Yeah, the Dragons get the big victory, 28-21 over Hillsdale. A game where both teams came in identical records, 2-2, 1-1 in conference play, and Hillsdale struck first, but the Dragons answered in the second quarter. Ethan Holbrook, a 7-yard touchdown pass from Alex Johnson, 11 plays, 45-yard drive, and the Dragons tied things up at 7 as you play in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was good to see us play complimentary football. That was, I believe, right after the interception from Isaiah Funches Foster.
So that mentioned that young man being awarded Defense Player of the Week in conference as well.
He was. So it was good to see us go down offensively and finish that drive and tie the game up. And again, good to see us play complimentary football in that moment.
Dragons also score another touchdown in the second quarter. Amari White seems like his role is getting bigger and bigger and bigger each week. A 20-yard pass from Alex Johnson, a 9-play, 75-yard drive, taking 4:50 off the clock, and the Dragons will send the game to halftime tied at 14.
Yeah, Amari's he's continued to make more of an impact week in and week out. When his number's been called, he's made some plays. He had a big touchdown in the Ferris State game. He's had a number of big catches for us this year, and we weren't surprised that he had a good game against Hillsdale.
Well, Hillsdale takes the lead in the third quarter, 21-14, and you learn a lot about your kids when they're facing adversity. A second-half deficit is adversity. Your kids respond with 2 touchdowns to get in the third quarter to take the lead and hold on in the fourth. First, and both of them big plays. First, it was Ethan Holbrook breaking tackles on the sideline and outrunning everybody. 69 yards from Alex. 2 plays, all you needed for 73 yards, and the Dragons tied things up at 21. First of 2 big plays in the third.
Yeah, Ethan does those things every day in practice, so it's good to see him do that in a game setting. And honestly, we aren't shocked when things like that happen. Our expectation is that our playmakers make plays, and Alex put the ball on him. It was a little bit of a scramble drill. Alex put the ball on him, and again, tiptoe on the sideline. He's got great balance when it comes to that, and broke a tackle. And then his speed is he's one of the fastest guys on our team. So it's great to see Ethan score there, and that big play when we needed a big play. Yeah,
the last couple of weeks, teams have really concentrated on Ethan. That's because he had such a great start to the season. That's going to happen. You start putting up numbers, get in the end zone, teams are going to take notice. Nice to see him get a little bit of room and do his thing this past Saturday. And then Hob Wills, we talked about last year. He's like the king of the circus catch. Just seems to make big plays for you when you need it. That 87-yarder, once he got away from the defender, you knew nobody was going to catch him. And that was the final score of the game. Again, a 2-play drive, this one 90 yards, and the Dragons sealed the 28-21 victory.
Yeah, it was awesome to see Hob score the football there. It was a big catch, and then again, his speed was demonstrated right there, not getting caught. But a big play made by a guy when we needed it, and Hob's been that since we've gotten here. Yep. So he hasn't had the catches that he had a year ago. He's been working really hard in practice, and those catches will come. Those are the things that we talk about. He's eager for his stats.
He's like, Coach, I averaged 87 yards a catch last game.
That's right. So it was good to see when the ball did come his way, him go and score the football, and he's a guy that we're really proud of, and he works very hard. So that was great.
Dragons take that 28-21 lead, but you still got to protect it in the fourth quarter. Talk about the job your defense did for you.
Yeah, the defense was outstanding. Really, they gave up 7 points on the day. Yep. They bent but didn't break. I believe they held Hillsdale to be 1 for 4 in the red zone. So that was a big stat for us. And Coach Daniels, our defensive coordinator, talked about not playing perfect football, but being able to hunker down and play great in the red zone when we needed to. And then ultimately that last stop on the 3rd and 4th down in shorts, that was a testament to our defense and in the way we play football, and ultimately an awesome display of the things that are important to us. So I thought the defense played well all day, and it was exciting to see them be able to get that stop there, and then the offense go out and execute a 4-minute drill, which is one of the hardest situations in football.
It is. Special teams as well. They scored a special team score on a trick play, but overall, your special teams, Joseph Weirs continues to do the job. But talk a little bit about the special teams play in the game on Saturday.
Yeah, Joseph's been phenomenal, right? He's been great punting the ball all year.
43 and a half yards again this week.
Yeah.
On the net, 46 on the air.
Yeah. Anthony Turnage had a couple touchbacks that he kicked for us. So that was great. Ben was perfect on his extra points. He missed a field goal in the game there, and we kicked that yesterday in practice. That exact scenario to end practice, and he nailed it there. And we know that he'll continue to do that. So he's been playing really well. So our specialist Jake Jacoby's done a great job snapping for us all year. But those guys. Their focus is unwavering. I mean, every game, every day at practice, they are locked into the tasks that we give them, and they don't just stand around at practice. We give them work to do. Coach Cox and Coach O'Neill. Coach O'Neill's our special teams coordinator. They provide those guys with a docket of things to do every day, and then they come out and they do their job when it's expected of them.
I think when your opponents watch your special teams on field goal and extra point defense, they got to get nervous because you guys are out there almost every single time.
Yeah, Dennis Crawford's blocked 2 on the year.
Yeah.
And that's something that we expect. We work really hard at it, and it was a situation where we're standing on the sideline, and I'm telling our coaches and players to back up because we're expecting to block it. I mean, it's something we work hard at, and we were close a couple times that day. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise when you work in the technique and the fundamentals. And again, Dennis did a great job blocking that, and that was a huge play in the game. Honestly, that was the pivotal moment of the game when the momentum changed how it needed to change for us. And then from there, we played with a lot of confidence. We need to start a little faster this week, but that was the play in the game that really broke things open for us, in our opinion. And then it's just guys like Ryan Konieczny, DJ Lewis running down on kickoff, the way that they play.
Right.
We tell them that they need to play like their hair's on fire, and they do.
And they do. Break it all down, it's a good win over a quality opponent in Hillsdale. You're never going to get an easy game against Hillsdale, no matter what their record is on the other side of the football. And a lot of the numbers very similar. Both teams rushing for about 100. They got 115. We got 119. One thing you mentioned was the 1 of 4 in the red zone. 4 of 13 on third down you held them to, including also add on to that a 1 of 2 on fourth down. And conversely, you go 10 of 15 on third down. That's sometimes you can look at that number right there and kind of tell how the game may have played out.
Yeah, for us, we always look at the stats. The stats don't tell the whole picture, but when you look at third down conversion, that's a really good indication of how the day went. And we did a very good job on third downs, and our defense did a great job. On the flip side of it. And then in the red zone, I believe that our offense was 2 for 2, and our defense held them to 1 for 4. So those are the stats where we feel like those things really matter.
Right.
And we want to be great in those scenarios. And that's something we don't talk about stats very much as a team, but that is an area I always like to lay out a couple key stats for the game in our Saturday or Sunday recaps.
Well, let's take a look back at some of the individual stuff. The Dragons, Alex Johnson, threw an early pick, but really responded well. Ended up throwing for 291 and 4 touchdowns as well.
Yeah, played well when his number was called, and didn't flinch after the pick. I was proud to see his resilience. Knew that the receiver fell down. He wanted to stick with that, and ends up throwing a pick 6 there. I pulled him to the side right as soon as he got off the field, and he looked at me and told me he's great. Coach, I'm ready to get back out there, and he did. He went back out there and did a great job. So proud of his resilience. It's always different when you're a quarterback. The ball's in your hand every play.
This past week on running back, Tyrese Banks-Dorn get a chance to be the feature back and did a nice job for you. 84 yards, getting a little 5+ on per carry.
Yeah, and he runs the ball hard. He would have had a touchdown. We had a penalty on an illegal formation, which was unfortunate because he ran the ball really well all day. He ran the ball physical. He's got the ability to make you miss, but man, when he puts his shoulder down, there's not too many people that want to take that hit.
No. And Nick Johnson doing the secondary rolled out a nice game for you as well. He averaged over 5 yards of carries too.
Yeah, Nick's a guy that's been ready when his number's been called every single time. So he's somebody that all of our backs are we're in a situation where we're trying to perfect the rotation, and those guys are all eager to carry the ball, but they're also the best cheerleaders for the guy that's in the game when they're in there. And that's the thing that's special about that room is it's a competitive room. They all want to do well, and they all expect to do well, but they're great at being great teammates when the other person's on the field.
It's great from where I sit up in the press box. If one of your, a lineman feels like he missed a block, or maybe a receiver had trouble to catch, when they come off the sideline and they're upset, it's their group that's the first ones to be like, hey, head up. We got a lot more football play and we need you out there. So it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, we don't expect anyone to play perfect. We've got to play 60 minutes of Tiffin Dragon football, which is having great effort, and we don't want missed assignments, those things, but there's going to be times we miss a block or drop a catch or miss a tackle.
That's football. 3 different Dragon receivers find the end zone, including, we mentioned Javier Wills, his 1 catch for 87 yards. Ethan Holbrook caught it 4 times, got 2 of them in the end zone, and Amari White's 1 touchdown. So all 3 of those young men, plus Jaden McKinstry, your tight end Joey Zalewski, Will Jackson Linkard had a big catch for you. I believe it was like a 3rd down over by the Dragon sideline. So a lot of receivers doing a lot of good things, but 3 of them able to find the end zone.
Yeah, Will had two catches. They called us for an illegal man downfield, and that was one you turn the film on the next day and you're always sitting there, wondering what it is. But he had 2 great catches. Unfortunately, that one on the 3rd down to put the game away got called back. But yeah, Will blocked. If there's one thing that he did really well, he had 2 catches that he got credit for, but man, he blocked his tail off, and that was something that stood out. And those are the things that we praise. Maybe not the things that everybody gets to see.
Right.
He's had some really good statistical games, but our receivers did a great job blocking, and ultimately that's them and the offensive line, the tight ends, the reason we were able to put the game away there in the 4-minute drill.
If your head coach is a former center, it doesn't matter what position you're playing, you better block if you want to be on the football field.
Yeah.
Defensively, Jacob Toyame, again, at 14 tackles. I can't remember the last game he was in single-digit tackles, and a lot of your secondary guys, Isaiah Funchess-Foster, Malik Baker, Dennis Crawford, leading the way tackles for you, and Chris Walton right there behind him. So a lot of guys getting a job done for you again.
Yeah, and it's funny with Jacob, we act like 14 tackles is a normal thing because it has been for him, but he is a tackling machine. Malik's been amazing all year.
He seems like he's better every week.
He is. He's a great tackler, and man, he is tight in coverage. And yeah, Isaiah had a great game. Obviously, was defensive player of the week.
For the 8 tackles and the interception.
Yeah, he had a great game. His best game that he's played so far as a Dragon, and it was honestly, collectively from a defensive standpoint, played very well together. Excellent. We played very well together.
Yeah, I've said a lot of your defensive linemen's names quite frequently during the game as well. Kevin Hornbeek with a big sack at one point during the contest. So yeah, great to see as well. But let's turn the page now to Walsh coming up this weekend. 4-0 going into last week, played a Findlay team who's ranked in the top 25 now and fell to their first loss, 4-1. But there's one common opponent, Ohio Dominican. They got the better of ODU, and you look at their team. That's kind of looking at their offense and defense. What stood out to me is, much like our Dragons, a very opportunistic defense. They have 6 interceptions on the season, only giving up 14 points per game.
Yeah, they do a great job. They fly around, they create some chaos for you, and they do. When the ball is loose, they're on that ball. They're creating interceptions. They're creating turnovers. They do a great job with not just their defense, but their offense, their defense, their special teams. They are a good team. There's no mistake about them having the record that they have. They've played really hard and sound football.
You look at some of the GMAC standings, a couple of offenses both ranked in the top half of the conference standings. So possibility of some points being scored on Saturday. I know the fans like that, but I'm sure as a coach you're like, well, let's just have 1 point on one side. But a couple of good offenses going at it on Saturday.
Yeah, and it'll be fun to watch for the fans. But yeah, we want to limit their offensive opportunities. But they do. They've got a great an offense that moves the ball. They've got a couple quarterbacks that can play and place the ball where it needs to be, explosive playmakers, and they've got an offensive line that plays very hard and protects their quarterback well. So, that's a recipe for us to really take any team. We take them all serious, but when we're watching the film, we're seeing a good opponent that we're playing, and we're going to be ready to go.
You look at the running attack for both teams. Ronald Blackman, number 2 leading rusher in the conference right now, had the week off last week, and Jake Gill for them, he's number 3. So they can run the ball. He's told me they have a couple of talented quarterbacks, but they got a running back too who gets the job done.
Oh yeah, and again, they're physical up front. They play very hard, and Gil can definitely make you. He can hurt you with his legs, and he runs the ball really hard. has a great nose for the open hole, and then he'll hit it vertical, and definitely somebody that we've had circled as we've watched all week.
As I said earlier, very opportunistic defenses, and both teams look at this game as your kind of midpoint of the season, kind of a springboard game. Wall's probably coming in and saying, we get this, can move to 5-1. Well, watch out for the second half. And we're looking at this game saying, we get this one and we get that next win. Well, we're taking another step towards the top of the conference. So this is a game that both teams, I think, probably really look at this as a springboard game.
Yeah, I think for us, it's our process remains the same, and every opponent that we play, you've got to take seriously, and then at the end of the season you can sit back and look back and say, okay, that game was this or that, but they're a great opponent. We know they're going to be. They're somebody that we've taken incredibly seriously all week, and our guys are highly motivated to play this game. It's at home. There's a lot of reasons why we want to play the best version of Dragon football that we can, but yeah, they're a formidable opponent.
Very important, fun week this week, as well as we're going to be bringing back some of the folks from Victory Day as part of our game day celebration. Talk about what's going on with all that this weekend.
Yeah, Victory Day is our biggest community service project that we do.
And maybe the funnest day on the calendar.
It is.
As well.
It's one of my favorite days of the year. We had over 90 participants this summer, at the end of fall camp, and it's an inclusive event where people with disabilities can come and they get to be a Tiffin Dragons football player for the day. And our players, they love it. The community loves it. We have a lot of people that show up for it. And honestly, coaching, it's one of the best days of the year. Right. So it'll be great to have the ability to have some of those participants back watching the game, and there's real connections that are made each year at that event, and participants coming back and saying, hey, can I be with such and such a player again? And it's really good.
Each one of those participants in Victory Day, when they see the Dragons scoring touchdowns, they're going to remember when they got the chance to score a touchdown at Victory Day. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. The game's this Saturday, 1 p.m. Our coverage will start around 12 noon on WTUD, TUDragonRadio.com, and then we'll join up with WTTF and the TU Dragon Football Radio Network around 12:30 in Flow College, which I've finally starting to get things figured out a little bit. We got through the game this past week. We'll have that for you starting at 1 o'clock kickoff. We'll probably join you around 12:45. So, Coach, go ahead and give me those adjectives about what the fans are going to see from your kids this coming Saturday.
Yeah, they probably get sick of hearing me because I say the same things.
Yeah, but it's true, though.
They're going to see a connected team. They're going to see unity. We need to play complementary football. They're going to see that. We're fired up. We will be enthusiastic. It's going to be a physical game. We know that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait for Saturday, 1 p.m. We'll be fired up to go play, and we hope to see you out.
I like the 1 p.m. start myself. Just being selfish a little bit. I like the 1 p.m. start. He's Coach Brett Ekkens. I'm Russell Snyder. This has been our weekly look at Tiffin at University football. We'll see you Saturday.